in terms of competitiveness and how close it is. But map number 1 loading up. It's going to be Compound Hardpoint. Now we'll throw it over to our casters for game number 1. Puckett and Mr. X.
All right, thank you, you beautiful boys. It's time to kick it off, Matt, and this is the smallest map in Advanced Warfare. We're going to see a lot of fast-paced action. Last night we saw multiple strategies. Some teams going with 3 SMGs, some teams going with 2 Bals, 2 SMGs. Off the break, it looks like OpTic Nation is going to send Bows, Ricky, and Miracles all with the ASM-1, Moach the lone Bal.
Yeah, I saw OpTic Nation play this last night against ISO. And they looked pretty good. It was a close game down to the wire. I believe ISO was able to win that one. I'm looking for Jerd on TCM to go big for them. Yeah. As we were saying before, Aches and Teep, they have not been playing well this weekend in their first match. If they get any type of production out of them, right, and Jerd plays well, they should be able to win this series.
Eggs going with the Bal to open things up, and he is 3-0. So trying to start fresh here on Saturday. A great opening for him. And really, when you looked at the team last night, Jerd was super flat for the first few games. Fears was doing everything he could, but the rest of the team wasn't with him. So I'm looking at TCM, and you need to get the veterans showing up strong already. You got Aches 5-1, Jerd 1-2, but then Fears is right there at 4-2. So a great opening off the break here for TCM. Can they keep it rolling? Currently, they're down 10 points, but they could bring it back on the second hill.
Well, the story with Fears over the last, 2-3 years has been he gets on a great team at the start of games, places well, really good, and then just kind of tails off. But we've seen, this weekend so far, I mean, even, in the online stuff, he's been playing great. And I think, he has a great shot with the Bal, as you see on your screen now. I don't think that goes away over the course of a few months and then comes back at the beginning of the next game. I think if you can shoot, clearly, you can shoot the entire time. If he has a player like Aches kind of guiding him around the map, I think he can be a huge asset.
Early on, you look at the kills. Strong start for Ricky and Embos. Ricky with another 2-piece in your kill feed, but Fierce is going to answer back, shut down the initial push. Aches is going to have his hands full, jumps out of the hard point for a moment. And I got to ask you, why was TCM struggling last night in hard points, and why aren't they off to a good start here?
What comes down to TCM and Respawn is the fact that Aches is obsessed with running a Bal, when I think, to be honest, he should probably be running an SMG. I mean, over the course of the last 2 or 3 years in Call of Duty, he's been one of the fastest, more aggressive players. I think if he ran an SMG in this game, he would be a player that's really up in your face the entire game, kind of like an Attach or a Zoomer or a Scump. I'm not saying he'd be like the level of those guys, but he has the potential to be. I think with the Bal, kind of takes away what makes him special as a player.
Fears continuing to impress, but he's always slaying outside the hard point. Embos, meanwhile, for OpTic Nation is indoors with Ricky. Moach also continuing to slay well. He's on a 3 streak, pushing out those spawns on the mini-map, and you look at kind of the mini-map, so far, this has been a great hold for OpTic Nation. They're now pulling away by a 30-point advantage.
3 and 4 on this map. The hills are the ones that you really want to hold down for the eternity of them. I mean, if you can rotate early to this 3rd hill, you can pretty much lock it down. This next one, though, Chris, that's going to be the one. It's going to be a huge money hill. You see on the mini-map, TCM setting up for this one, but 3 kills go in favor of OpTic Nation. But the spawns coming in for TCM pretty much right on the next hard point. They should be able to take that early time, but can they lock it down? And as I'm saying that, you see all the kills going in favor of OpTic Nation, and that is a huge just team play out of them. They're able to take this time at the beginning. They should be able to get at least 40 seconds here.
Moach started off negative, but he has totally turned that around. Now sitting even, but Embos has been the most surprising player in this game for me up to this point outside of Aches. He is straight up ripping it with the SMGs, playing so fast. And the quad. Embos takes out the entire team and regains control.
And I don't understand how that can happen, right? In Advanced Warfare, you die so fast. If Bose just runs into the hill, it's almost like TCM's not communicating with each other. You'd have to know by the time he kills the 3rd guy that he's coming from there. I mean, Bose just with a fantastic play.
When was the last time you saw a quad? I think it was Karma on compound uplink. Or, excuse me, comeback uplink.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of how many times that's happened in a professional match. I think back to Columbus Open for Ghost with Clay. I think that's probably the last time I saw it, and maybe that play from Karma as well on that uplink. But OpTic Nation just dominating TCM here early on.
And we're going to stay on board with Embos for a little bit. I want to see what is he up to on the rotation. So far from what I've seen, OpTic Nation is always having a flanker in position. They're going to send 3 guys one way, and then they'll have 1 go in the opposite direction. Ricky sees that Moch needs help, is going to rush over, but then loses all of his teammates on the right side of the map. So TCM able to break in. How long can they hold this hard point? They do have Fierce inside with the bow, but he's fully red.
And this is such a difficult hard point to hold down, right? I mean, you see Fierce just trying to stay alive as long as he can. It's just an amazing play just to play his life, waiting for some teammates to get over there. But you see, Jerd, he's going to be alone in the hill trying to contest for TCM. He's going to be able to get one, but right away, he's going to be challenged. And then, nope, TCM doing a nice job, taking some time, and then when OpTic Nation gets in it, just staying alive. You saw Jerd stay alive for 4 or 5 seconds. Fierce with another play before where he stayed alive. Now it's going to go back to this first hill. Still OpTic Nation in control.
Wanted to show you guys Ricky for a little bit. He's topping the leaderboard right now in terms of captures, but doesn't have too many defends. We take a look, and I think that's kind of the story so far for me is TCM, bit more defense. OpTic Nation, though, they're slaying outside of the hard point pretty darn well in the first half.
Yeah, and I think this hill, you're just going to kind of play for scrap time. If TCM can get anything here, you would be happy with that. And you're just going to really have to focus on that 3rd and 4th hill. I think if whoever wins that in the second rotation is going to win this game because, you know, OpTic Nation, although they have a lead coming into the second half, it's not a huge one. It's one that could be made up pretty quickly. So TCM, look for them to rotate early to the 3rd hill, try and lock down 3, try and lock down 4, and make up a lot of that time.
Big kills for Moch on the opposite side, but TP and Jerd are going to answer right back. Jerd inside, but being contested on the opposite angle. Nice kill from a teammate. That is going to be TP helping out once again. Fierce in the mix as well, and Jerd is continuing to pick up time. It's still about a 21-point deficit, though, and we'll see if TCM can continue to mount the comeback. Inside for the moment was Ricky, but he will be cleaned up. Jerd is going to take over that position, and Jerd, not only on a 4 streak, he has also been in the objective for the last 40 seconds.
And as bad as this first half was for TCM, they're right back in it. You know, Jerd, just one of the most fun players to watch in Call of Duty, right? He's so hyper-aggressive. He will challenge anything. I was speaking with Carmen last night and Parasite, and we were just talking about, you know, the way Jerd plays. He will challenge anything. A 2v1 gun battle, he'll just dive right in there, just play aggressive on the hill. And I think they just need that 2nd or 3rd player to play aggressive with him. I think that's why you need Teep, who hasn't really been a real big slayer, you know, more of an OBJ-minded player. You need him to be aggressive, and then I think you really need Aches to be aggressive in the hill with them as well.
I think back to the OpTic Nation days for TP, and I remember seeing him drop
multiple
40 bucks.
But they never won.
What has changed since then?
But they never won.
They never won? You think that was the problem?
I mean, you know, you kind of, he's putting up good numbers in the slaying department, but then nobody else is doing the OBJ. So I think he'd rather just take that into his own hands, knowing he's going to do it and do it the right way. And you see TCM pull up to a little bit of a lead here. Now they get control of this 3rd hill early. Ricky, though, trying to break it from up top. That's a nice spot to do it from.
Yeah, Ricky was in a power position, but he's going to be cleaned up right away. Jerd watching the flank. Miracles is going to try and push in, and that's a big kill from Miracles. Can he get the second? No, he's shut down by TP. So a big kill from Teep on the 2 streak. Dodges 3 grenades, and TP will finally be cleared out. Fierce is going to jump in with the bow behind the head glitch, and this is a strong setup for TCM. 20 points remain, but another big play. Grenades coming in, and unfortunately, that one's going to land on a teammate for Mochilla.
Yeah, but OpTic Nation has not even gotten near this hill. I mean, you know, the nades have come in. They've done a nice job, you know, weakening the players of TCM, but OpTic Nation gets no time on that hill. I talked about 3 and 4. Those are going to be the most important ones. TCM dominates hill number 3. They rotated early to hill number 4 last time as well. They just had an amazing play from Mbos by OpTic Nation to break it. Now, this is going to be a huge initial battle up top. Aches is going to win both of those. Bo's flying in, taking out one. He's going to have some players from TCM pushing in the other side. If you're TCM, just contest this hill, and you win this game.
Here's Nation trying to make their surge. They had a 30-point advantage, was the largest lead I saw throughout this game. Now trailing by 52. We'll see if they can come back at this point. Miracles gets behind 2 players, but with strong shots from TP to shut him down. Ricky just contesting for the moment, trying to break in. Full red, gonna get some help, but no help. Moch switching over to the sub now, and Moch is going to light up too. Looking for Aches, can't finish the, gets shots on him, but can't finish the 3rd. Finds Fears, but again, it's going to be Miracles and Ricky pushing through. And Matt, a minute and 3 seconds left. I don't know if there's enough time
TCM
for Owen to come
dominated
back.
those 2 hills. I mean, OpTic Nation and those 2 hills combined get, what, 13 points, about 13 points. So not a lot of time for ON on those two hills. I mean, if they lose this game, you're going to be looking at those two as the real keys. But I love the way the ARs of TCM played that last hill. They just kind of hid behind the barrel, contested. No, they didn't need to fight for that time right away. Once the SMGs got up there, they started applying pressure, and you see Teep picking up 2 kills here in the final hill. 35 seconds left, Chris. This looks like a TCM win.
You know, TP said both of our teams are trash in hardpoint, but TCM is coming in strong.
It
started off super hot. You saw Fears with a strong slaying game from the get-go. And then Jordan TP applying that aggressive SMG pressure. It really paid off. I think the turning point for me was when Jerd just kind of took over in the middle of the map. His teammates were slaying outside. And then, as you mentioned, the Money Hills, they collected it at the end of this game. You're going to see TCM take game number 1, their first respawn of the tournament.
Yeah, you know, Jerd caught heat on that second hill, like you were saying, and then after that, they won the rotation. At that point, they were up by maybe 10 seconds, and then ON gets only 13 points. He'll 3